Improv was my gateway drug to theater. I did a little bit of theater, like in college. I was interested in it, but it never really seemed like that viable an art form for me. I was interested in so many other things. So after I graduated from college, I never really looked back. And then in 2000, I came at random to see a show at Dad's Garage. I didn't know anything about Dad's Garage. I knew very little about improv. And I saw my first improv show at Dad's, and it blew me away. It just opened my eyes, and I was excited and just turned on. And I signed up for their very next class. 2 months later, I did my first show. 2 years later, I was inducted into the ensemble. And just slowly things started happening. I got cast in a musical. I did my first musical here at Dad's Garage. And I wanted to write a play, and we did comedy plays, and I thought that was something I was really interested in doing, and Dad's Garage gave me the platform to do it, and so I tried it. And the first play I wrote in 2005 was Lawrenceburg, this play that we're remounting right now, and it opened in 2006. Since then, I have written several other additional plays and musicals, and all of those were just from my gateway drug of doing improv. And improv is a great way to learn theater for multiple reasons. First of all, you're on stage and you're writing. You just happen to be writing in front of an audience, but you are writing your dialogue and figuring out your blocking, and you're creating these scenes together. And you start to learn from, audiences are teaching you by their reactions. You know right away if what you did was good because they're going to react, they're going to laugh, they're going to cheer, they're going to clap. And you know right away if it's bad because it gets real quiet and real awkward. So that was sort of a great training tool for me, just doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows in front of audiences who could teach you. And then improv too just has this very collaborative vibe to it. So, a lot of times an idea for a show starts just hanging out and talking to one of your friends, and you start riffing ideas. And this show, Lawrenceburg, came from one of those chat sessions with my buddy Chris Blair, who is one of the founders of Dad's Garage. We were having drinks at Manuel's Tavern and talking about Star Wars and the Dukes of Hazzard. And we started to realize it linked up, and then it just all started rolling. And then finally, bringing this cast together, our cast is a bunch of improvisers. So the rehearsal process is crazy. It's chaotic. Every night, people are trying new stuff, whether the director asked them to or not. We're just noodling and trying and messing with each other, and it's great. And our director, Allison Hastings, was very open to that. And one night we'd do something new, she'd start laughing and she'd say, "Keep it." So, we're in a constant act of discovery. Even when the show's open, we're still tweaking things, messing around a little bit. There's a playfulness to this show that I think the audience can sense because we're still live in that moment. We're not just going through our paces. We're still messing around. We're still trying new things. Secretly, we're trying to get each other to laugh, if we can, by just going over the top with a line or just tweaking it or twisting it, or if someone does something a little off, we'll try to bring it back and comment on it somehow if we can. Which makes it a lot of fun. Dad's Garage has been doing scripted plays since it opened in '96. I think a lot of people, though, know us as an improv theater, which is cool. I think improv, just like it was a gateway for me, I think it's a gateway for a lot of people who don't necessarily think of themselves as theater people, but going and checking out a show at Dad's, that's not theater, that's just fun, right? It's just entertainment. It's a experience. It's a great date night. So if they come and they check out our improv shows and they like it and they have a good time, and maybe they'll say, "Hey, they got a comedy play coming up, maybe I'll check that out." And even that doesn't feel like theater, right? You're not going and seeing some sort of fancy presentation. It's fun and it's loose and it's hilarious, and sometimes it can be a little crude, but it's all a good time. And I think that's great. Our director has given us a lot of leeway. She has really encouraged us to try different stuff. And, this show has a serious social commentary to it. It's talking about questioning institutions. It's talking about unbridled capitalism and what it can mean. It questions the institutions of capitalism and religion and racism and sexism. And when you're doing all that stuff, it could be a real downer. So we're trying really hard to talk about those things and make people laugh. So, you might not even walk out of there saying, oh man, they really hit me hard with that message. You might just say, that was fun. And then later on say, oh, and that was cool how, yeah, they fought off this big corporate thing that seemed like there was no way they could stop it, but they found a way to stop it. And I cheered for that, but I wasn't thinking about capitalism. I think of it as the message first. I think if you have a message worth telling, you will find the funny there. Comedy comes from bad stuff. They say that way back when, like in our evolution, we started laughing to tell the rest of our clan or whatever that the perceived threat isn't a threat. So if something stumbles out of the woods and everybody freaks out, and then you see it's just Og coming back from taking a pee in a bush, everybody starts laughing, right? So you thought it was a threat, but it's not a threat, so you laugh. So I think, comedy is kind of hitting you with something that you're kind of like, oh, that's not good, or oh, that's wrong or bad or dangerous. But then you say, oh, it's okay, I'm sitting here in a theater. It's not going to hurt me. It's not really that bad, and you laugh, So I think you can be funny. You can just tell joke, and people can walk away, and they might have laughed all night, but they'd feel a little empty, you know what I mean? I think you can tell a story that has some meaning and that has some heart, and that the relationships actually mean something, and still get people to laugh. And that's what I want to do. Like I love jokes, I love laughing, but at the end of the day, I like it when comedy does have some kind of message. So I like to start with the theme. Like, what's the theme? And the theme of this show is questioning institutions. And then we built all this goofy, dude, there's poop jokes and fart jokes and dingling jokes and all kinds of just dumb stuff. So I'm not for a second going to tell you this is some kind of like high and mighty theatrical drama. It certainly isn't. But at the end of the day, I really believe in the message behind it and the theme of it. And I want it to matter. I don't want it to just be jokes first and then figure out if there's some kind of